Okay, so for this third example, we're converting between two nominal interest rates. And our first nominal interest rate is 14% per annum. And we need to find the equivalent nominal interest rate compounded quarterly. So let's look at our equation. Let's make them both like we're working with our compound interest formula. We've got 1 plus interest rate over summing to the n, 1 plus interest rate to the n. In other words, these two need to be the same, whether we're doing 14% compounded monthly or whatever this interest rate is compounded quarterly. So let's start with the monthly. We've got 14%, 12. So it's like we're doing it for 1 year, 12 months in a year, divided by 12. And on the other side, we're going quarterly, 4 quarters in a year. Only thing is, we do not know what I is. So we don't know what the quarterly version of 14% every 12 months is. But otherwise, it just looks like the formula we've been using for compound interest the whole time. And we just need to get to I. So we just need to do that and reverse engineer it. So we've got that whole thing there. 1 plus, what do we got? 0.14 over 12 to the power of 12. So the left-hand side is 1.14 something other, not rounding off, keeping it here, is equal to this right-hand side. 1 plus I over 4 to the 4. So now we need to do all that working out backwards, and we've been doing quite a few of these now. So we're going to take the 4th root, we're going to take the 4th root. So we've got that, and I'm just going to go shift 4th root of aunts. And we've got 1.03 something other. Let's not waste our time writing all these decimal places because calculators are going to hang on to that for us anyway. And 1 plus I over 4. Okay, so what do we do next? Minus 1, minus 1. That we can do quite quickly. That's just minus 1. And that's equal to I over 4. And I don't like the red with the green. Let's go times 4, times 4, times 4. Too much. Never too much, right? And let's zoot ourselves across there. So we've got I equals 0.14 something or other times 100. And when we times by 100, we get I equals 14.16% per annum compounded quarterly. So what we've done is we've found that if you got 14% compounded monthly, that would be the same as getting 14.16% compounded quarterly. Okay. Joyce borrows 500 Rand from a friend and agrees to pay back 600 Rand 1 month later. What a kind friend, lending Joyce 500 Rand and getting 600 Rand back a month later. Determine the monthly interest rate. Okay, so there are two distinct ways of doing this. And I'm going to show you the method that I like because it fits in with everything we've been doing. We know that A equals P 1 plus I to the N. That we've been using quite a bit. And let's fill in the bits we know. Let's start with our principal amount this time. So our principal amount was 500 Rand. So that's 500 Rand. Equals 1 plus I, and we'll get to the other parts. The accumulated amount, 600 Rand. So it's like her friend invested 500 Rand in Joyce and got 600 Rand out a month later. Okay, we've got, this is going to be a fraction. And we've got, well, our interest rate, determine the monthly interest rate. So that's what we're going to have to figure out. And let's see, is it compounded monthly, quarterly, annually? Well, it's getting paid back 1 month later. So in other words, if we compound this monthly and do it for 1 month, then let's see what that is. I like this method. Put 500 Rand in, you get 600 Rand out. You compound it monthly for 1 month. And we solve that like we've solved so many equations so far. So we got 600. We said we'd divide both sides by 500, divide by 500. And we go, great stuff. 600 divided by 500 gives us 6 over 5, or 1,2. 1,2 equals 1 plus, I'm going to give up on the colors, I over 12 to the power of 1. Well, that's just 1 plus I over 12. Okay, minus 1, 0,2 equals I over, let me not do one of those wonky ones, I over 12. It's the times by 12, times by 12, 0, what are we on? 0,2 times 12, 12 over 5, 2.4, so I equals 2.4. So I is 2.4%, right? No. Remember, we always, that's 2.4, not as a percentage. Times 100, I is 240%. Joyce's friend is doing quite well here. Determine the effective... Okay, so the other way of doing this, and I think it is worthwhile looking at, is... And it's definitely a shorter way, but this first method just fits in with what we've been doing and know how to do. In the second method, we just say, well, how much interest was earned? So interest earned in that month, earned, was 600 minus 500 gives us 100 Rand. Let's put a unit there, 100 Rand. Okay, so that's how much was earned in 1 month. So we've effectively, our interest is, that doesn't look anything like interest, does it? Our interest is 100 Rand over the initial 500 Rand, which gives us 20% per month. So that's one way of doing it. It does say 20% per month. This 240 was, per annum. So we just have to change this to go, well, our interest rate, well, that's per annum. So our last bit would actually have been to divide this by 12. So 240 divided by 12 gives us 20% per month. All right, I'm in two minds because this first method fits in with what we've been doing so far. But the second method feels like if you're not on top of it, then you're not on top of it. 600 minus 5, so we get 100 Rand interest. Okay, so we get 100 Rand interest on the original 500. It's so easy to maybe have said 100 over 600. It's 20% per month. Okay. And then let's do the second part of the question, which is going to be the same regardless of which method we use to start with. And that asks us what the effective annual interest rate is charged by her friend. So 1 plus I, this is to the 1 year one, so you could think of that as to the power of 1, is 1 plus, like the formula we've done, so over 12 to the 12, we worked out that this was 240% per annum. So that's what I like this first method, just to come back to this comparison. We worked out that I was 240% per annum, which is 2,4. There it is there. I mean, just look at it. I is 2,4. I is 2,4. Look how in this other method, we had a 20%. You could easily have written 0,2 here. I'm a big fan of the option that we went for first. And this one's not too bad to solve, actually. We can do this to go -1 into the calculator. It goes, and we get the interest rate is 7,9 something or other. So we take that and we times by 100, and we get I equals, say what? 792%. 792%. 500 Rand gives 600 Rand a month later. Let's make sense of that. 792%. And I'm also going pa because I'm trying out the pop thingy to see how well it's working. 500, 600. So let's say that she borrowed money, Joyce borrowed for an entire year using this scheme. She would have borrowed 500 times 12. Let's just do it. 500 times 12. 6,000 Rand to make it look like the other problems we've done. And every month she would have paid 600 Rand back times 12. So she would have spent 7,200 back. Does that make sense? That's quite a hefty loan, I must say, every year. But I don't know. Does that make sense to do it that way? She wouldn't be paying 720 because she'd be paying interest on the interest still. No, that's crazy. That's quite a lot. 792%. Okay, well, enjoy the prep being the work that you're going to do in the textbook. Have fun.